Hey all, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, and today I wanted to bring you guys the deck that I've been using to farm Taya. So I've really been wanting to build a Magician deck for myself, and so far I've gotten one Dark Magician girl. I want another one, and I want a Sage's Stone pretty bad. I also got a Supremacy Berry, but I like another one of those just for other decks. But ultimately, here's the deck that I'm using, and the main point of this deck is to use Sorcery Conduit. And this allows you to get your Cerberus into your hand if you take 1800 damage during the turn. You can draw Cerberus instead, because it's the only spellcaster monster in your deck during your normal draw phase instead. So that's kind of the key. Another key that we have is we use Secret Pass of the Treasures, which allows you to attack your opponent directly with a monster with 1000 points or less. And we choose that with Piranha Army. So Piranha Army is a really interesting card that I use with my Toon farming deck for the Pegasus event. This card inflicts double damage when it attacks directly. So all you have to do is get it to above 5,000, and then you can deal over 10,000 damage, and that's kind of really awesome. That's how you get 3,000 points for the duel rewards. Now the way you get him to that high is you power up Cerberus with all the spell cards in the deck, and then you Ryoku it over to the Piranha Army. And all the deck is focused on is just a little bit of equip spells, moving. I only have one Shard of Greed, so just Shard of Greed to move things faster. And then we also have Pot of Benevolence to allow Taya not to deck out on us, because she does have some draw power cards. You want to make sure that her deck keeps getting refilled, which is really key because you want to get your deck down to 0 cards so that you can get the most amount of duel points afterwards. And then we also have Restructure Revolution, which just inflicts some damage because, hey, you know, she does have that Solemn Wishes card, which allows her to gain 500 points each time she draws, and maybe we can't get to our Twisters fast enough to destroy them. So you want to keep her down below 10,000 life points just in case you can't reach that high. There's also Stim Pack, which we equip only to our Piranha Army during the last turn, which gives an extra 700 attack, which turns out to be 1400 damage dealt. So that's also pretty clutch there. Another little trick the deck has is you play this field spell. Any field spell works just fine. And then you can Murmur the Forest it. So you can just set a monster that your opponent has down to face down, and then you can replay the field spell because it gets sent back to your hand, and that just adds spell counters to Cerberus. So that's, well, we also have the embodiment of Hofus here because he has 1800 defense, and that kind of keeps you safe. If Taya does something wonky first turn, you may die for any reason whatsoever. He can just kind of stall, but I find myself rarely ever using him. Rain of Mercies are only increasing life point card, and that's just so we can use some of our other spells if we maybe take too much damage in the process of getting Cerberus out. So that's the key of the deck. It's fairly straightforward. So I thought, hey, let's just jump into it. We can check out the rewards Taya gives. So basically, Taya's theme is the Dark Magician Fairy style. So she's got one Dark Magician girl. I own one so far. Pretty happy about that. And then I really want to get the Sage's Stone during this event. That's one of the ones I'm looking for, along with Enemy Controller. I cannot farm Kaiba effectively. I've tried a couple decks. I just can't seem to do it. So I'm still on the search for one to farm Enemy Controller from him. But the Sage's Stone I thought was a pretty safe one I could farm right now. Plus the other 3 super rares are also pretty nice to get, so that's not too bad. I'd also like to get some more super rare orbs so I can finish my Blue Eyes deck that I'm trying to make, that I'm probably going to showcase next. So we'll just jump into a duel, and I'll show you how the first turn works, and then I'll probably just speed up the rest of the duel until the final turn, and then we can talk about kind of what's going on there and how you need to make your last turn count the most. The biggest thing to remember is don't fill up your spell and trap card zone. If you bring 3 equipped spells for any reason, I only run 2 that I would equip to Cerberus at one time. Don't fill up your spell and trap card zone, because then you're definitely screwed, because there's no way Taya's going to take out those. She has no Twister, she has nothing like that, no D-spell. So you'd have a blocked off field. So that's something you need to keep in mind. Yes, we didn't draw anything here that could help us. But this works out pretty well for us because we can just end our turn, and then she can only bring out a maximum of 1 monster next turn, hopefully one with 1800. Well, alright. So here's where we get into a little bit of a danger zone. Oh, hopefully she can play another equip spell. I really wish she would have played that first so she could have brought out a stronger monster, but she didn't. Oh, you cannot attack with that card on the field. Alright. So now we just have to really hope that she does not. Like, this is the time where it gets a little dicey. Yeah, she's gonna equip another one. So I don't think that's gonna kill us. No, it's not. It's gonna leave us with a good old 300 life points. So that's really treacherous, which means we can't use our twisters until we. Yes, now we have to use our sorcery conduit. Now this is gonna move Cerberus to our hand, which is, well, it puts us at the top of the deck and then we draw it. And this is how we start stalling. There's no way for it to get over us right now, because I'm going to equip this, and that's going to push us right up to 2400. 500 points for the equip, and 500 for the spell counter gets put on it. Now, I don't want to add anything back to the hand. I don't want to like secret pass anything. I think we're safe just to let this sit now. So basically, as you guys will see, it's just going to be a very slow, drawn-out game. She's got 2 equipped spells now. Luckily, I drew Reign of Mercy here, so I can. I'm not going to be skating so close to death here. And then I can maybe play some twisters if I want. But mostly, it's just going to be the stall game. So I'll get to you guys right back when we are on the final turn. Alright, so we made it to the last turn. Now you guys might have noticed I was setting cards back to her deck that may not have been the smartest choice, but that's only because I know what I'm going to be drawing. I know like what's left in my deck, I know what's left in hers, and I can kind of make a judgment call saying, hey, I want to use up some cards now because I don't want to have to worry about ditching cards later. Now, just be very aware that if you give her too many of her cards from the sky or whatever that lets her draw 2 cards back to her deck, she may deck out before you're able to use all your cards. So just be aware of that. But you had a full monster field and a full spell and drop card field at that point, so it was okay. So now that we've used Secret Pass on our Piranha army, now we're going to sub over the attack. So we're going to cut our own Cerberus attack in half and feed that into our Piranha army, giving it well over how much you need. This is definitely overkill. And just to make sure it's completely overkill, we're also going to give it the Stim Pack. The Stim Pack will give an extra 700 points, an extra 1400 damage. So now we move into our battle phase, where our Piranha army is actually stronger than every other card on the field. And we attack directly, and 14,400 damage was dealt. So that's definitely overkill. You only need to do at least 10,000, but we were already there. Might as well. Other cards that can kind of help this deck, Jar of Greed, if you really want to play that. Alright, let's hope for super rare here. Come on. Ooh, we got one. Come on, Sage of Stone. Sage of Stone. Magic Formula. I have like 3 magic formulas. So that's a darn shame. We did get 10 gems, which isn't bad. And magic formula, maybe you can trade some of those in for a super rare orb if you really need. Because really, I think I'm at 4 or 5 right now. So that kind of sucks. And there we go. I hope that was an informative video for you guys. I really hope that it showed you how easy it is to farm Taya, and if you want to build a Dark Magician deck, it's quite good as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope to catch you in the next one, and as always, peace.